Buonasera, buonasera, benvenuti. C'è qualcuno che manca, quindi arrivo subito. Ok, ok, adesso ci siamo tutti. Buonasera, buonasera. Allora, questa sera continuiamo Black Mirror. Tarai. E ci prudono le mani tantissimo. La storia me la ricordo vagamente. Vi ricordo naturalmente chi è che c'è. Solo umido con The Evil Witty. Viking con Enter the Dungeon. Wood Speaks con Elden Ring. Gabriel Domino con Gioco, Kate con Video Horror Society e Constantine con Football Manager 2020. Ok, ok. Allora, non ho fatto alcune cose che potrei fare adesso, quindi ne aggiungiamo un altro. Gli mettiamo il comando GDR, giusto? No, vediamo un po' qualcosa di vecchio. Sì, quello è giusto. Cosa di nuovo? Ok, tutti possono scrivere. Eh, Siamo in 10 minuti, lo si può riscrivere ogni 5, ogni 5. Ok, e commento da scrivere, abbiamo scritto qui, andiamo a copiare e ad incollare. Ok, quindi se faccio punto esclamativo GDR, perfetto. Ovviamente questo sarà attivo fino a sabato 2 luglio, dopo si disattiverà in automatico, quindi se lo andrete a cercare non lo aggiungo neanche nei comandi, ma comunque c'è sempre punto esclamativo dona, punto esclamativo control. Ok, così almeno tutti sono contenti. Però devo fare un po' di aggiornamenti in generale, un po' di migliorie. Che cosa d'altro? D'altro. Così, lo scrivo.
E Giacomo è qua.
Andiamo in gioco vecchio. Come sempre il gioco non viene trovato e andiamo a giocarci vici. Pronti? Partenza. Via. Black Mirror. Cara è. Un attimo che ci sono streamer. Ok, vediamo. Io pubblico una cosa, mi rispondono in 10.000. Ok. Qua dobbiamo guardare cose. Vediamo un po' che cosa succede. Che succede? Che succede? Un attimo. Ok. Continuiamo qua. Insomma, rispondo agli altri vitali perché giustamente siamo qui per streamare. Adesso. Ok, quindi Lo spazio serve sì. Gli oggetti ce li abbiamo qui in basso. Sul ponte. Sotto il ponte di Baracca c'è Pieri che fa la cacca. Ingresso del museo, me lo ricordavo giusto. Questo verso la foresta. Winterbottom. Ah, cioè, lo psichiatra comunque era lì di fianco.
Hello, Doctor? Can I ask you a quick question?
Ah, si partono con gli interrogatori. Penso che non possiamo analizzare. Oh sì.
Dr. Winterbottom writes down a patient's dreams in the green books, but I haven't seen anyone else but me here yet. Strange. I wonder if the record of our discussions will end up in there. A Newton's cradle. The ball passes on its momentum to the next one, which passes it on to the next until it reaches the last one, which can't pass it on any further and is kicked into the air. A simple example of kinetic energy, but its only use is to work this toy. A Native American dream catcher. It's supposed to protect you from nightmares. You could hardly call this straggle of flowers a bouquet. Whenever I'm here, the ashtray is full. Dr. Winterbottom smokes like a chimney. Perhaps she should be in therapy. Today's newspaper. There are probably lots of new, unbelievable revelations about the arsonist in it. Dr. Winterbottom's notebook. Probably very revealing. At some point, she'll be able to write her memoirs with it. Dr. Winterbottom's lighter. Quite an expensive one. I guess it was a present. My adoptive mother had a lamp like that. I always had fun hiding in it when I was a kid. The famous psychiatrist's couch. Until now, I always thought it was a joke. But it's actually quite comfortable. Doctor?
What's troubling you, Adrian?
Do you believe me?
Darren, Adrian, we've gone through this so many times before. Of course I believe you.
Then why am I still on the hit list?
I'm a doctor, not a judge. By the way, they rejected the assessment of your not being of sound mind.
Rejected? But what about the awful nightmares?
That kind of reaction is only normal, Adrian. If somebody suddenly revealed to me that I was descended from a long line of bloodthirsty murderers, I'd have nightmares too.
How come you ended up here in the first place?
A colleague of mine I'd known from my student days. A doctor. Heinz Hermann. Once worked here in the sanatorium. He was a friend of mine.
Quello morto.
12 years ago, those dreadful murders took place. Heinz was one of the victims. I came here to give his family and the others a little spiritual support, and I'm still here. That's just how life goes sometimes.
Is it true that Spooner was sent here as a punishment?
Yes, I've heard that too.
What did he do then?
As far as I know, he overstepped his authority back in London, and that led to some guilty people getting off. Or maybe the other way round. However, I'm not exactly right in the picture with all this.
Oh, great. A bad-natured investigator who can't tell the difference between guilty and innocent. I couldn't have come up against a better guy. Get this. I've been released on bail.
Well, that's a good reason to celebrate.
I'm not quite so sure. The bail was paid anonymously. You know anything about that by any chance?
Anonymously? No? Who'd do something like that?
No idea. To be honest, I'd hoped you were behind it.
Mm.
You like living in Willow Creek?
Yes, I like the life and the people. It's like time stood still here.
And every few years, along comes some psycho and murders half a dozen locals.
Yes, well, compared to the murder statistics in London, it's a proper holiday here.
Do you see me as being an arsonist?
Judging by your nightmares, you do at least seem to have a violence-orientated imagination.
Yeah, but Stephen King has that too.
As far as I'm aware, he has never been under suspicion of an arson attack resulting in 3 dead.
Whose side are you actually on?
On your side, Adrian.
Good. I swear to you that I've only ever told you the truth.
There are as many truths as there are people, Adrian, and we still have to find yours.
Ok.
I had a strange experience earlier. It was just like one of my nightmares, but this time I was awake. It was in the police station, just as I was wanting to pick up my stuff. I suddenly found I had awesome strength. I dragged the guy to me through the bars and rammed my pencil into his eye. Wham! Then it was all over. It was just so real. Scary.
You don't say.
Oh, great. So I'm cursed and possessed.
I was talking to a colleague about you the other day. She's how shall I put it? She understands alternative therapies.
What's that all about then? Drugs? Electric shock? Voodoo?
Hypnosis.
You're not serious.
It would at least be a possible way of finding out more.
Well, for my part, as long as you don't saw open the top of my skull. These sessions, how long are they supposed to continue for?
What do you mean?
Well, I've been coming here every day for the past 3 weeks, but I'm still having nightmares every night, and the assessment says I'm 100% fit.
We ought to try hypnosis.
And what's that supposed to do? You want to join in on my nightmares?
Let's just try it tomorrow. If we can get to your roots, then perhaps we'll understand what your dreams are trying to tell us.
Boo! That's what they want to tell us. The dreams, I mean. Well, okay then, Doc. If you think that this might help me in some way. Catch you later.
Take care.
Penso che io sia la persona meno indicata a stare attento.
There's a poster hanging here. We're rebuilding for you. Soon we'll be even more spectacular. Experience the horror up close and personal. Reopening on the 1st of December. That's in a few days' time.
Verso l'hotel. Verso l'hotel.
I'd just like to see my file before I leave the village. I'd just like to see my...
Ok.
Willow Creek's Museum of Local History. A valuable hoard of English cultural history. The sign says, up there is Dr. Joyce Winterbottom's practice. It's very cozy. The
Rotta.
sad remains of a bicycle.
Ah, lì c'era la bicicletta. Non bene. Vediamo.
Cold coffee. that's probably just decoration, considering the weather here. I guess those are the keys to the cells. Apart from the fact that everyone here would notice if I took them, my cell is open. I'll just leave them in peace for now. I'm not going back. I'm not going back there voluntarily.
Magari telefonando alla stazione di polizia?
Who should I call? All the people whose numbers I knew by heart are now dead. A narrow, thin board. I found it amongst the remains of the fair. My lawyer's business card. Never have thought I'd need one of those.
Jones and Partners Chambers. Please leave your name and telephone number. We're in your corner.
I've had enough of my future for today. Maybe I'll call her again tomorrow. Okay, this is my last chance to get my hands on the file. I somehow need to stop the letter from vanishing irretrievably into the mailbag. The mailbag is stretched over a kind of hanger. I could lay something over it so that the letter doesn't fall into the bag. The mailbag. I could lay something. A barrel. It says Willow Creek Corner Shop. A barrel. The board is just the right size. It'll go straight on top of the mailbag, so that when the constable posts the letter, I can easily pull it out again.
Oh, guarda, spawnato fuori.
It worked.
Leggiamolo.
Let's see what's in here. Friday afternoon, 12:30. Oh, they must have discovered the body then. The time of death for Miss Valley was the previous evening, Thursday, between 10 and midnight. Cause of death, burned alive after a blow to the back of the head. Grim. Witness interviews. Let's see. Not important. Saw nothing. It continues. Friday, 1837. Emergency services called out. At that time, I was in the ruins of the old academy with Angelina, Lewis, and my mother. Then, Saturday, 12:06 a.m. Fire under control. At that time, I was running from the ruins in the direction of the castle. 3 bodies were retrieved. Lady Eleanor Gordon, Edward Bartholomew Bates, the butler, and Sally Wood, the cook. 1 survivor, Lady Victoria Gordon, suffering from severe smoke inhalation. Also on Saturday morning, 12:12 a.m., Darren Michaels arrested on suspicion of arson and murder of Miss Valley. Witness interviews on the subject unproductive, and Lady Victoria Gordon could not as yet be questioned. She remains in shock. After a 2-week period of hospitalization, was discharged of her own wishes to continue medical supervision at home. Hey, it says here that Murray can't remember having seen me in the hotel on Thursday evening. That can't be right. That was exactly when he threw me out of the hotel. Oh, the rat was lying. Just wait. Evidence still insufficient to charge, but strongly suspected of crime. Current state of the investigation. Darren Michaels' conduct, as well as his contradictory testimony, is currently being examined for plausibility by the psychiatric expert, Dr. Joyce Winterbottom. Here's a note to Constable Zach. If he's diagnosed as nuts, will he have to be remanded in a loony bin? Possible murder weapon, a torch, still smoldering, which was in Darren Michaels' possession when apprehended, is undergoing forensic examination. Deportation to USA not possible. Release of the suspect on bail on direction of the court. Dr. Winterbottom authorized as prime supervisory agent and point of referral.
Ok.
Good, and I've got 2 new roles already. Visit Victoria and see how she's doing, and let Murray know what I think. I'll write in the file so I don't forget. There are enough empty pages. I can stash the remains of my diary away with it as well.
Quando sarà disponibile una nuova annotazione, il simbolo corrispondente apparirà in alto a sinistra. Puoi aprire il diario tramite la sua icona, oppure utilizzare i tasti D o J. Andiamo prima da Murray.
Then let's see what Murray's got to say in his defense.
Andiamo per il sentiero? Ci racconta. Non sa che
Definitely
qui
not drinking water. Wasting water like that wouldn't really be Murray's style. I guess it's rainwater that's pumped up again and again. Definitely not drinking water.
Ok.
Gordon's Palace. I wonder if Murray even has the right to use that name. Murray stating his patriotism. The old phony.
Non è più comunità europea.
There are a few steps leading down behind the hotel. To the river, I reckon. There are a few steps leading down.
Entriamo e rompiamo tutto.
Ah, Mr. Michaels! Welcome back to Gordon's Palace. We missed you here.
How's that? The last time we saw each other was Thursday, 3 weeks ago, when you threw me out of the hotel.
Thrown out of the hotel? How did that happen then?
The thing with the sewers, the secret entrance in Angelina's room, that ring any bells?
Really? Oh yes, there was something. Ah, well, please excuse me. I did overreact a little. I hope you're not going to bear a grudge, though, Mr. Michaels. I'm very happy to make things up with you. You'll also understand that I couldn't hold your reservation for such a long period. Unfortunately, your room is occupied at the moment. But you can have another, a bigger, nicer one, for a small price, really. And for such a room, a ridiculously tiny price.
So you've remembered then. Very good. Then please go right back to the police and tell them that you know exactly where I was on the evening that Miss Valley was murdered.
Was that the same day? Are you sure? Now, it may well have been. I don't pay much attention to that kind of thing. Why should I? It's really nothing to do with me.
You two-faced snake! I insist you march down to the inspector and tell him you want to change your statement.
Mr. Michaels, you're free. I don't understand your problem.
I'm only out on bail.
Oh, my congratulations. I'm sure that wasn't cheap. However, in spite of that, I still don't see why I should get involved with things that don't concern me.
Brutto infame.
Can't be serious. Thanks to you, I've just spent the past 3 weeks sitting in a cell as an innocent man.
Mr. Michaels, I really am extremely sorry, but I can't fulfill your request. My own credibility would be on the line if I were to simply change my mind. Unless...
Unless what? Come on, spit it out and quit playing around, you pathetic little blackmailer. Otherwise, I promise you that the murder series will continue. Here and now. No. Admittedly, I'd be the last one who's standing in your way. But a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do, isn't that so?
Questo qui ci provoca
All the same,
volontariamente.
I would like a photo of you. Nothing sensational. Maybe somewhere in the woods with a knife in your hand.
So they can send me straight into the madhouse. No way.
Okay, think about it. A watertight alibi for a tiny little amusing photo. It's not a bad exchange.
You are one nasty dirtbag, Murray. You know that?
I'll even give you a camera to take it with. My best one.
Mi dà pure una Polaroid.
Yeah. Does it still work using a lever?
It's a collector's piece. One of the first instant film cameras on the European market. An SX-70. And still in great condition, too. 15 years ago, a very well-groomed gentleman handed it over to me as a deposit in my pawn shop. He never picked it up again. So, you can say that I obtained it quite legitimately. And now, I entrust you with it. Pay attention, I'll tell you how it works.
That's okay. I'll work it out. If I choose to use it.
But that's not all. I've got another present for you. Here, a brand new rucksack.
Cosa?
And free food and lodgings for as long as you wish, Mr. Michaels. Accept it as a peace offering and reparations for the trouble with the statement.
You really are a few cards short of a full deck.
Veramente?
Mr. Michaels, wait!
What do you want now?
Forget the woods. In front of the castle would definitely have much more impact. The photo, I mean.
And people think I'm crazy.
Però a questo sarebbe piaciuto. Giacomo. Guarda Giacomo, c'ha uno zaino. Ok.
The Willow Creek Telegraph. The guests need to be kept up to date with what the murderer is up to. A big trolley for the masses of baggage the tourists that flock through here have with them. Murray always did have a bit of a tendency towards delusions of grandeur. Huh. Blackmere Castle in poster format. I wonder who would hang this kind of thing above their bed. This is information about all the attractions Willow Creek has to offer. The Murder Museum. The crime scene route including a flying visit to the pub and a group photo in front of the castle. I don't really want to know anymore. Huh, what have we got here? Bloody greetings from the Murder Village. See Blackmere Castle and die. Hello and goodbye with the Gordons. Quite a one-sided selection of cards. A telephone. A telephone. Murray, my favorite hotelier. Obliging, helpful, polite, and always on the lookout to maximize his profits on the back of crime. A guest book. I'm definitely not writing my name in there. A bowl of apples. Probably poisoned.
Ciao Hyper! Come procede?
Hi, Murray.
Procede
Oh,
molto
the
bene.
esteemed Mr. Michaels. What's on your mind?
Questo qui, per usare termini gentili, è uno stronzo di prima categoria.
Do you know the inspector, Mr. Spooner?
Oh, yes, I certainly do. He was here twice. Took half the hotel apart. A terribly inconsiderate fellow. But good for business, too. But how often, as a tourist, do you have the chance to see this kind of an investigation firsthand?
Beh,
Unfortunately, he confiscated all of your and Miss Angelina's personal effects. Means I can only display replicas in the museum.
What bad luck.
allora, tecnicamente abbiamo finito il secondo, il terzo, siamo comparsi fuori dalla foresta e siamo subito stati arrestati e accusati di omicidio. L'unica testimonianza è la testimonianza di questo albergatore, falsa, che lui dice di non averci visto il giorno in cui ci sono stati gli omicidi. Cosa che invece noi eravamo davanti a lui in quel momento, dove appunto venivamo bellamente cacciati via dall'albergo. Quindi noi siamo arrivati qua e lui non vuole comunque ritrattare la versione.
So, anything exciting happen?
You mean, apart from Miss Valley's murder and the castle burning down and 3 people losing their lives? Well, the fair's finished. In its place, we now have a new exhibition in the Willow Creek Museum of Modern Murder. It's opening in a few days. Oh, you should definitely see that. It's worth it.
Oh yeah. For you? Most definitely.
Ah, in più la base sul fatto che il castello è stato bruciato e noi siamo apparsi dal buio di una foresta con una torcia dall'altra parte del paese, cioè dall'altra parte del, come si dice, di dove si trovava il castello.
This photo of me that you've pictured.
Only a small favor, a tiny exertion on your part, nothing huge. You just have to smear yourself with a little blood and swing a knife about, in a scary sort of way, of course.
Well, naturally. Oh, and best naked under a full moon by the lighthouse, yeah?
You're the pro. I trust your aesthetic sense completely.
Who's guaranteeing that you won't immediately run to the cops with it?
And what would I get out of that? You're judging me completely wrongly. Anyway, anyone would see that it's completely staged. I don't want anything authentic, rather something somewhat stylized, like for a movie poster.
You want to make a poster out of it?
I'm thinking more of a
Come?
life-sized cardboard figure for the hotel entrance. Well, if you wouldn't have anything against that.
Do what you want. Just make sure you change your statement at the police station.
Understood.
Ah, ovviamente l'ispettore è un deficiente perché lui ha tratto tutte queste conclusioni e basta. Non vuole sentire ragione, non vuole vedere le prove, vuole solo prendere e spedire in carcere tutti.
But you know I had nothing to do with the fire, don't you?
Yes, well, according to the papers...
Yeah, the British tabloid press is world-renowned for its believability.
Well, of course, they don't always have the whole truth in there, but the headlines do help me to keep the hotel going.
In this case, at my expense. See you, Murray.
Back to work.
Andiamo verso la stanza. Esperienza della signora Fletcher? Mi stai dicendo? Qui c'è un signore. E quel signore... Anche la porta. La porta è un po' divelta. Pianta della luce.
The floor plan of the hotel. All of the rooms are drawn on it. Huh. Murray's office is right next to my room.
C'è che dire, c'è un sacco di gente.
The room looks almost exactly the same as the other one I had 3 weeks ago. I bet Murray got a discount on the interior decoration.
Vabbè, tecnicamente gli alberghi fanno tutto delle volte così.
The only thing I brought with me from Boston is a jacket, and I keep that on day and night. This thing is completely useless to me. Murray's office is right behind this wall. Murray's office. Views of Willow Creek. At least it's better than portraits of my bloodthirsty relatives. An antiquated thing for antiquated backsides. They've covered up the ugly gray carpet with an even uglier beige carpet. Great idea.
Almeno non capisci qual è la cosa più orribile.
There's only atmospheric noise. You probably have to pay extra to get TV channels. I don't need that. I'm already in my own horror film.
Quindi non c'è niente. Ottimo.
Lifted clean off its hinges. They were probably broken. Back there's just a little sitting area. 2 armchairs, a table, a shelf with books. Boring. The floor plan of the hotel. All of the rooms are drawn on it.
That's my office. There's nothing in there for you. There's nothing for you.
No, di lì non si...
There are a few steps.
Torniamo al quello che... Sentiero di ghiaia, alberi, la strada.
The cold pierces through your buttonholes and right down to your bones. Winter's just around the corner. In a few weeks, the
Decisamente.
last of the trees will be bare. A busted signpost. You can hardly make out what he used to say.
Verso il castello.
Spectacular backdrop, huh? But as I'm already here, I ought to look in on Lady Victoria and ask how she's doing. A huge lump of stone. I'm no geologist, but it doesn't look like it grew here. It's apparently a survivor of the Bronze Age, like the things at Stonehenge. It's certainly decorative, if you like having boulders in your garden. It's certainly decorative. The gate is locked shut. The castle looks really threatening from here. The castle looks really threatening. One of 3 nymphs that guard the castle and are supposed to provide light. Old Bates used to use the nymphs as a mnemonic device. In Greek mythology, nymphs often accompany superior divinities. They were seen as the benevolent spirits of trees, grottos, or important places. Well, that's my knowledge of nymphs pretty much exhausted. Looks like a few kids have had a party here. Bates would go bananas if he could see all this. An empty letterbox. An empty letterbox. Is it just me, or has nature taken its course at an amazing rate here over the last few weeks? Oh, we've got a new doorbell with an intercom system.
Who's there?
My name's Adrian Gordon. I'd like to see Lady Victoria, please. Hello?
Spavento. Un caricamento addirittura.
Come in, Mr. Bond. Lady Victoria has just woken up.
Yes, of course.
Please excuse the chaos. The builders are working on the renovations.
You're looking after Lady Victoria?
Yes, I'm a trained nurse of your...
Great-grandmother.
I take care of all of your great-grandmother's needs.
Thank you, Miss.
Sorella Antonini.
Antolini. Sister Antolini.
Thank you, Sister Antolini.
Abbiamo una suora.
Can I just ask you something? Do you think that being in the middle of a construction site is the right place for such an old lady?
Lady Victoria was most insistent that she be moved back into the castle. She said that she'd been born here and that she wanted to die here. And the walls here are rather thick. She doesn't hear that much. At least she hasn't complained as of yet.
How is Lady Victoria?
As well as can be expected. She's not speaking to me, unfortunately.
E il castello...
Perhaps you'll have better luck.
God, it's like a death chamber in here. Oh, I can feel a chill right to my heart. I can only hope Victoria gets better soon.
E che cosa c'è davanti? Niente. Il castello è stato sotto incendio, quindi non so cosa devono trapanare, ma...
A room screen. It's supposed to be a barrier to prying eyes. A plush stool. Like lots of things in this room, it's red. There are lots of cupboards. Huh, this is probably Victoria's dressing room. A huge oak bed. Presumably it used to be William's and Victoria's bed. William died more than 12 years ago. A small casket. Victoria probably keeps her jewelry in it. A small casket. Hairbrushes, makeup utensils, creams, Victoria's cosmetic stuff. A shelf with books, souvenirs, and caskets on it. Huh, probably full of memories. Reminds me of Lady Eleanor's castle in Wales, but during better days. When Tom was holding me prisoner there 3 weeks ago, it was already half sunk in the marsh. If you look out there, you might think it's deepest winter. Or is that more to do with the chill here in the room? A picture of a woman in white. Looks like a kind of wedding dress. That's William's name at the bottom in the corner. My great-grandfather must have painted it. Is that supposed to be Victoria in her younger years? Weird.
Sì, questa è la mia
Looks like
bisnonna.
Angelina. Or is
Questo
that
è
the
questo.
other way around? Same genes after all. Is that supposed to be Victoria in her younger years? Victoria, my great-grandmother, and the only member of my family I've got left. A bit of a deja vu moment. About 4 weeks ago, I was standing at my foster mom's sickbed. These machines were there, too. There's even a button to call the nurse here as well.
What's happened?
Nothing. I hit the button by mistake. But now that you're here... Miss Antolini, Lady Victoria isn't speaking at all. Can't she talk anymore?
Well, she does. I hear her sometimes through the closed door, cursing and praying. Praying, mostly. I rather believe that she doesn't want to talk anymore. After everything that's happened. Too sad. I'd hoped you could break through the misery. You're her great-grandson, Adrian, Samuel's son, aren't you?
Yes, I am. The only one. And the last one, too. How do you know that? Has Lady Victoria told you about me?
Well, not directly. You know, she's not been speaking to anyone. But, as I said, I hear her cursing sometimes. And then you get mentioned rather often. I'm sorry, Mr. Gordon. I'll leave you both together now.
Un po' più piano però quando chiudo la porta.
Hello, Victoria? It's me, Adrian. Did you put up the bail for me? Are you being well looked after? Victoria,
Meno male che
are
quella
you
lì la
okay?
deve accudire.
Victoria, I need your help. Really. The police don't believe me. How can I make them understand that I'm Adrian Gordon when the name Darren Michaels is printed in my passport? Victoria, you're the only one who can help me. Please. I'm sorry about what happened to Bates,
mossa.
Eleanor, and Sally. It must be awful for you.
Adrian, tell me the truth. Was it you? Did you start the fire?
No, Victoria, it wasn't me. It was Lewis. He did what Angelina told him to do. She was behind all the murders. It was her who also lured me here because she needed me for, you know, the curse which only affects the male Gordons. She wanted to achieve what Samuel was trying to prevent. She was possessed by it. She lied to me, to all of us.
What's all that, Adrian? You sound like a coward. It wasn't me. It
For me?
was Angelina. Why should I believe you? Why have you come here at all? Things were going well for you in America. If you'd only just stayed there, Bates would still be alive. Eleanor, Catherine, Miss Valley. You're too weak. You can't stand up to Mordred. His ghost rides you like a child rides a rocking horse. Since you've turned up, there's been nothing but calamity. Just disappear again, Adrian. Do me a favor and go back to where you came from before the other
Come?
half of the castle goes up in flames.
What have you done to her?
Nothing at all. I've been talking with her, that's all.
You'd better go now. Your great-grandmother needs peace and quiet.
Yes.
Solo gli
I'm
incubi
sorry.
che
I
prendono
didn't
un
want
po'
that. I'm
sopravvento.
sorry.
Just go, please.
Now, it's not just everyone in the village that hates me. The only remaining member of my family, too. Real good job, Darren. If I wasn't already doing it, I'd be signing up for therapy right away. That's the road to Warm Hill, Willow Creek's neighboring village. Well, village is a little bit of an exaggeration, but at least there's a church there.
Per ora non c'è
I don't want to
niente.
walk there, though. Well, I have no reason to. That's the well. I don't want to walk. First it was on the tree, and now it's on the ground. That's what you call the fall. Dead branches on a dead tree. Looking at that makes you feel much more alive.
Vediamo un po' qui le strade. Sentiero a sinistra e sentiero.
I've no idea where that path leads. Before I get myself lost in the woods, I'd rather stay on the road. I've no idea where that...
Ah! Del filo spinato.
There's barbed wire attached to the wooden gate. Someone's got something against unwanted visitors. That's actually a no parking sign, but I guess in this context it means stay out. A locked gate made of rotten planks. The barbed wire and the sign are nailed to the gate. That means you can open or close it from the other side without touching the barbed wire. All the warnings, the barbed wire, that has to make this path incredibly interesting. I'd really like to know what's behind all that.
Ah, il cielo.
English sky that no travel brochure could ever do justice to. The spiral staircase is completely decayed. The lighthouse hasn't been used for ages. An old, abandoned lighthouse. It must have collapsed many years ago. I found Miss Valley's corpse here. Yes, right here. But there's no evidence of the crime to be seen. Next spring, lovers will be back here, looking out at the sea, arm in arm.
Ah, qui è tutto crollato intanto.
A silent witness to the destruction. It won't be long until it's gone, too. A huge pile of rubble is all that's left of the entrance to the academy. I can consider myself lucky that I got out of there in one piece.
Salviamo.
The stairs originally led to the first floor. Now there's nothing
Nome
there.
del salvataggio. Povero Ralph.
The shed has also been destroyed. Now it's even uninhabitable for Ralph. Half of a huge archway. The academy must have been an impressive building. A huge pile of rubble is all that's left of the entrance to the academy. I can consider myself lucky. A rucksack with a contorted image of my father's face on it. I'm not sure Murray's actually allowed to sell crap
Un
like
coltello
this.
insanguinato.
Whatever. I'll sue him for that later. First of all, let's see what's inside.
Ok.
One of Murray's merchandise articles. Blood-splattered plastic knife. Great for Halloween, especially in combination with the Samuel Gordon ones. A lighter with Samuel's face on it. I could probably laugh about it if it wasn't my own father. Plastic soul key, check. Batteries, no. Murray tight ass,
Ok.
check.
Ritorniamo un attimo di là per provare a fare la foto.
Shows
Quanto
nothing.
grandangolo c'aveva.
A photo of me in front of the castle. That'll have to do for Murray. Aimlessly wander through the woods? No thanks. The last time I did that, I got arrested for arson and murder. All the warning.
Ok. Allora, per essere l'ultimo capitolo di una saga appunto di qualità dove le ombre eccetera sono proprio una cosa appiccicata all'altra, ci può stare, cioè le cose che si muovono sono su un piano nettamente diverso, però ci può stare. Di qua non possiamo ancora andare. E dove che siamo adesso? Qui andiamo all'hotel. E come corre?
So there, you've got your stupid photo. Happy?
Oh, I can hardly recognize a thing.
Me in front of the castle as agreed? Okay, off to the cops, Murray.
I'm sure you know how important my exonerating statement in the Valley murder case is.
Murray.
Okay, I'll take it.
First, go to the police station.
All right, then I'll go today. I'm an honorable businessman.
And I'm a possessed madman.
I suggest taking a
Cosa ho
rest in your
scritto qua?
room first, and then when you wake up, everything will have been sorted with the police.
It really could use some sleep.
Una lettera.
While I'm here, I may as well put away the stuff I don't want to carry around with me.
Mi sei innocente perché io credo
Someone shoved something
davvero
under the door.
lo sia, ma devo mi fidare di te. Non possiamo ancora incontrarci ed ecco perché ti sto mandando questi. Se
I can
desideri
help you
accettare la
prove
mia
your
offerta
innocence
avrai
because I believe
presso la
in your
tomba di
innocence.
tuo
But I have to
padre.
be able to trust you too.
You.
We can't meet yet, which is why I'm just gonna send you clues. If you want to take up my offer, then you'll find the first lead at your father's grave. Huh. That's a bit confusing. Who's this message from? Murray? He doesn't have an interest in proving my innocence. And anyway, he would just tell me himself.
Ok.
But who else knows
Allora,
I'm
mi
living here in the
assento
hotel?
giusto
I
10
need to follow this up
secondi.
carefully. I
Saranno
ought to
5.
find out where the graveyard is
Spero
around
di
here.
arrivare presto. Ok, siamo tornati. Quindi mm, potrei chiedere a Murray.
Hi, Murray.
Oh, the esteemed Mr. Michaels. What's on your mind?
Murray, do you know where the local graveyard is?
A graveyard? Didn't you want to take a
Come?
rest?
I'm not up for resting anymore.
I'm sure you can't mean the graveyard behind the hotel. It's being redone right now.
It's being what?
I've had it removed for the time being so I can relocate it in a sensational new setting. It means I can charge more for some of the rooms with views over the Gordon graveyard.
You've had the Gordon family graves
Ok,
leveled?
To be quite honest, there was only Lothar Gordon's grave there, the founder of the original sanatorium. The family crypt is in the churchyard at Wormhill.
Ah, right. In Warm Hill, then. The woods around Willow Creek are pretty gloomy.
The woods are quite exceptional, I'll have you know. Full of ghosts and demons, if
Okay.
you like to believe the local folklore. The perfect backdrop for all of the grisly murders that have happened here and are, regrettably, yet to come.
You can hardly wait, right?
mm,
I've lived here long enough
gli
to
chiede
know
neanche
that
di questo.
patience is a virtue.
Why don't you go out and kill a few people yourself if you're so hot on it all?
I'm a businessman, not a murderer. A small
sì,
but
avevo
absolutely
bene.
fine distinction,
Basta.
Mr. Michaels.
See you, Murray.
Back to work.
Nello stesso tempo mi sono dato animo per, come si potrebbe dire, non c'è un punto per poter accedere. Silent Hill. Stavo dicendo, ho fatto anche sgranchire un po' le gambe. Corso d'acqua. Basta.
According to the map, this stream's called Old Wansford.
Ah, è dalla prima che non ci passiamo.
Why should I go into the middle of the woods? Warm Hill Church, 800 years old and no spire. Very unusual. This is where Miss Valley is buried, murdered by my cursed sister. Perhaps I should bring a few flowers the next time I visit. This is where Miss Valley is. Gravestones without names.
Non dice altro.
This certainly isn't a well-groomed graveyard. Most of the graves are overgrown with twining weeds and roots.
Effettivamente.
Gravestones without names. Wow, the fence has really been battered. If we were in India, I would say it was a herd of elephants. The wall has collapsed right in the middle without having a demolition ball taken to it. It takes a few hundred years for that kind of thing to happen.
Non c'era posto.
That's William Gordon's grave, my great-grandfather. He died in August 1981. No idea why he wasn't buried in the family crypt. That's William Gordon's grave. That's the Gordon family crypt. The musty skeletons of my ancestors are just behind this door. I'm not interested in paying them a family visit. Locked. That's probably the priest's house back there.
Chiesa identica come nel
Bare wooden pews. Very inviting. They really make you want to kneel down and pray. There are some phrases from the Bible engraved in this. Behold the Lamb of God that taketh away the sin of the world, says John 1 verse 29. For to me to live is Christ and to die is gain, says Philip, also 1 verse 21. For many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew, blah, blah, blah. The Lord is with me, I will not be afraid. Psalms 118, verse 6. These European churches really are impressive buildings. America was probably still India in the minds of a few sailors when this one was built. A huge stained glass window for optimum illumination. Who's that? That doesn't look like the priest. Hey, you there. Good morning.
Okay.
What the? Oh, I'm sorry, lad. I must have nodded off.
In the confession box?
The bench has a cushion on it, at least.
You're not the priest, are you?
God forbid. I'm Mark, the grave digger.
Do you know Wormhill well?
Of course, but it's just a few houses on the back of the woods. There's more life in here, I tell you. Are you looking for something in particular?
No, I'm just trying to get an idea of the place.
Looking around this graveyard will give you a better idea of the place. And should you want to reserve yourself a spot here, then let me know. I recommend the southern slope. That's the best location.
Thanks for the tip, but I'm in no hurry to die just yet.
But maybe death's in a hurry to come and get you.
What is it you actually do all day?
Answer stupid questions.
I mean, digging graves can't be all you do.
Yeah, you're right, lad. I don't just dig. I repair things too, keep the church in order, guard the graves. And if you think that the weeds grow on their own around here, then think again. It ain't weeds and it don't grow on its own. But who's interested anyway?
What did you mean by that? You guard the graves?
Well, because of the clientele. So they don't get dug up. By dogs and the like.
Which dogs?
Well, strays from around here. For them, a graveyard is like
an underground hot dog stand?
Yeah, exactly. With bloody tough sausages.
You must have a lot to do around here, being the gravedigger.
Oh, that's right. My job here is quite secure.
Can you tell me anything about the church?
What do you mean then, lad? Who built it? It certainly wasn't me, even if I might look that old. Must have been around the time Marcus Gordon was alive. Have you seen the dark part of the tower up there?
Yes.
He ran out of stone, and they say he took stones from his castle walls to finish it off. Demolished his own castle to finish the church.
A model Christian.
Perhaps his time was running out. Got himself buried in there in the end.
Ok.
A crypt that's 100 feet tall with an altar and a bell tower, all for him alone.
Confermo.
What a modest man.
All those toffs are. No, he treated himself to an extra crypt underneath the nave. But it caved in 12 years ago. Nobody can get in there anymore.
It's quite a woody area.
That's also supposed to be the reason it's such a bloody area.
The evil of the woods? People around here read too many horror stories.
Or have experienced it themselves. Have you been in the woods here at night?
No.
They say there's plenty to see. Murderous lords of the castle. The undead. Mordred's voracious hellhounds. There are many stories about it. Probably as many stories as there are people here.
The woods around Willow Creek strike me as being particularly creepy.
Yes, and the number of wild boars in there is uncanny.
SH.
I've known them to trample down my fences to get at the clientele.
Comunque grazie Hyper. Benvenuti, ciao Crostino. Benvenuti a tutti questi Riders. Vai pure a dormire. Notte Andrea. Ah, qualcuno ha aperto il bar.
You don't happen to know, being the gravedigger and all, where Samuel Gordon's grave is? He must have been buried in 1981.
That's a tough one, lad. So many people died here 12 years ago, good and evil alike, in the strangest of circumstances. I really can't remember who ended up where. You'd be better off talking to Father Frederick, the priest. Perhaps he can remember.
Ok.
Where would I find the priest then?
Today? Well, you won't find him at all. He left around midday. Some conference or other. Supposed to be back by noon tomorrow, though.
I'd better be going.
Keep your eyes peeled, lad.
Ok. Minchia.
Oh, is it that late already? This pot looks like it's been pushed in. Wonder if it was a hearse driver with parking problems. Ancient headstones. It looks like the design hasn't changed in hundreds of years. That's quite a recent grave. There are even a few flowers still lying on it. That's quite a recent grave. Locked. That's probably the priest's house back there. A fortified tower with battlements. That might have been more essential than a bell tower. That's a lightning rod. The tower looks a bit singed. Maybe it was hit by lightning. There might be bells behind the slats. In that case, they are small auxiliary bell towers.
No. Ci impone ad andare a piedi. Quindi vuol dire che ci impone a
That's a walking map
viaggiare
of the area
di
around Willow
notte.
Creek. That's a walking map of the area around Willow Creek. I don't want to use it at the moment. Those must be wild boars. There's supposed to be plenty of them around here.
Oggi ne abbiamo 26. Quindi
More demonic hellhounds, as they say in the local
c'è
fables.
sempre questa mora. Ho caricato appena appena in
I don't want to get mauled.
Io me ne torno indietro. Cioè, solo un presentimento.
Why should I go in?
Qualcuno ha acceso la candela. Il corvo comunque ci osserva.
That's William Gordon's grave. My great-grandfather. That's William Gordon's. Locked. Why should I go in? Oh, demonic hell. Why should I go in? I better get out of here fast if I don't want to get mauled. A box that's just rotting away. Don't want to know what's in that. A padlock of the... Damn, don't say somebody lives here. There's something lying under the bed, but I can't get at it. A couple of luminous smiley stickers. Whoever lives here must be scared of the dark. An oil lamp. Doesn't seem all that old. Maybe it still works. An oil lamp. A file. The escape tool of choice. In the comics, at least.
Distruggi il documento.
I'm guessing that's paint thinners or gasoline for cleaning stuff. Ugh, smells something like that at least. That almost looks the same as the shredder in the museum.
No.
There's something lying in it. It's soft, damp, and cold. Yuck.
Moriamo?
An old bucket. Oh, I hope that isn't the toilet. Another door. Let's see now. Was kinda obvious. There's storage behind it for logs. It stretches right to the door. There's no getting through here. The floorboards here sure creak loudly. The floorboards here.
Chiuderà.
I think there's still enough oil in it. No need for a refill. Oh, that's
Bussa
better.
e se ne va.
I can see now.
Così.
What the hell?
La cosa sta diventando intrigante. Però la lasciamo così. Abbiamo già visto la prima morte. Questo ci basta e avanza. Ok. Allora. Io vi ringrazio tantissimo per essere stati qui, per essere passati. Ringrazio Hyper per la supervisione. Ringrazio Crosta per il ride. Io vi auguro una buona notte e una buona domenica. E vi lascio in compagnia di Kate. Quindi. Clicco di qua e naturalmente una cosa che non si aspetta fare questo. Ok? Buonanotte a tutti. Ciao.